55 degrees and sunny, January 7th in Iowa. I can't decide whether to golf or lay out.
Yeah, that's a personal decision, Murph. You're going to have to figure it out though pretty soon, because the sun, regardless of how warm it is, the sun still goes down like 5 o'clock right now.
That's true. These are still long days and
short days, long nights.
Short days, long nights. Thank you. I always get that confused, and there's no reason that I should. I got up a little later than expected today too, because Colin goes back to college Saturday morning, and this is Movie Wednesday here on Murph and Andy, and he has continued to ask to watch Godfather 2, because he watched Godfather 1 and just loved it. Wanted to watch Godfather 2, so we started it last night at like 11:15 after I got home from work. That's a long movie, but man, it's fantastic. I think it might be better than the original.
Yeah. I don't like it more than the original. Yeah. There's definitely more to it. And
you miss Brando. You miss Marlon Brando.
Yeah, and the backstory behind both of those movies is it's almost as interesting as the movies themselves. But the guy that plays Clemenza is not in that. He couldn't get the money that he wanted, and so they really miss him in the movie. I mean, it would be great to go back and redo that second movie, like, just pay that Richard. I can't remember his name. Anyway, just fill in a couple of the little gaps, and you'd make that movie even better. But yeah, I mean, it's crazy that movie was that good, being a sequel, which is so hard to do, and missing a couple of key characters from the first one.
Yeah, and it just jumps right in. I mean, Vito as a kid, and his dad has been killed, and then his brother's killed, and then his mom is killed right in front of him. He goes on the run. Next thing you know, he's at Ellis Island. It is a really compelling movie. Also, Colin, to watch a 21-year-old see this and goes, oh man, a bunch of these guys were in The Sopranos.
Yeah.
And a bunch of other movies.
That's why the Sopranos did that. Yeah. And Goodfellas.
Got our favorite movies coming up a little bit later on the show. But right now, let's roll.
The Murph and Andy Show is brought to you in part by Ramsey Subaru, home of the toughest, most reliable cars in the world and the people who back them up, on Hickman Road in Urbandale.
I'm Chris Williams. Join me weekly for the CW Pod on Iowa Everywhere, where I do a lot of sports business, the business of college sports, breaking down college football, and of course, intriguing interviews as well, weekly on Iowa Everywhere.
Murph and Andy, talking sports and more, exclusively on Iowa Everywhere. From the Channel Seed Studios, here are Keith Murphy and Andy Fales.
Murph and Andy on a Wednesday, the table setter from Guest House Tavern and Oyster in West Des Moines. Coming up, the Hawkeyes keep missing. Caught in Caribbean or Caribbean, which is it? And our favorite movies of 2025. Presented by Guest House Tavern and Oyster. Today's special, Walleye Wednesday. Now, high or low since the last show?
Presented by Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax.
Lots of questions coming in at this time of the year about Wealth Charter Retirement Planning and Tax and what they charge for their services. They're doing tax planning and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a charge for that. But when they're setting up a Roth IRA, making those kinds of trades for you as you're putting a retirement portfolio together, the companies that they deal with, the Fidelities, the Vanguards of the world, they're the ones that pay Wealth Charter. You just go in there and get it set up. That's not on you. So it's a great service to check out. WealthCharterRetirement.com is where you can find them, and Tim Hawkins, the owner. I'm going to go low today, which is counterintuitive because it is beautiful outside and it's hard to be down when it's like this in January. But did you see the forecast for the next few days?
I'm taking it a day at a time. No.
Well,
Are we got snow coming or something?
We got like an inch and a half to 2 inches of rain tomorrow coming.
Oh,
And then we've got like a snow mix developing into a snow mix on Friday. And this is mud weather.
oh, God.
It's muddy outside. I mean, you've seen all the fog and that. I mean, the ground is really wet, and it is too cold to freeze the mud, and too warm or it's too warm to freeze the mud, and it's too cold for that mud and the water to evaporate. So it just sits there, and we keep getting fog every single night. It's been all that stuff, fog, the kind of like spittle rain that we had going on last night. And so the ground is going to be just really soggy for a really long time until either we, get to spring and it warms up and the water evaporates, or we, fall back into winter and it all freezes solid. So
Yeah,
I don't
bottom
love
line.
I don't love mud. I don't like that. And the dogs go out in the yard, their feet are filthy, and then they come into the house and you got to like bathe them at the door almost.
Yeah, I know.
I'm over
Marty writes, bottom line, the next few days are going to suck.
Yeah, live it up today.
Ed should just come out tonight and go, look, I can talk for a few
just
minutes, but
stay inside.
let me just cut to it. It's going to suck.
Yeah,
Get ready for it. One of the things we miss as you talk about a mud day and mud days coming up, in our new house, one of the things we miss is the classic mud room. We don't have a mud room, and I think I undervalued that place where you just take the boots off or shake most of the mud or make your shoe change. I mean, a mud room has real value and a lot more the next few days.
We have a mud room. It's called the first floor.
That's what ours is now too. I've been yelled at a few times, like, take your shoes off. What are you doing? I got out of the car in the garage and just walked in. Yeah, but you've been walking around the WHO 13 parking lot. You don't think there's salt and mud and snow? I got it. So I got a system now.
It's a very Iowa thing that I have mostly adopted, I think. I didn't know anybody growing up that took their shoes off in their house. Nobody.
We don't here unless, as I'm learning, there's a chance that they're muddy or wet or have salt on them. That's why I've set up this slipper system. I got a real system going. It's
like Mr. Rogers almost. Change your shoes at the door.
Yeah, change my shoes, put on a little cardigan sweater. I'm doing it all. I'm going high here. The Olympics are 1 month away. They start in a month. And Valley alum, that's Andy's school, Valley, Zach Stoppelmore has qualified for the Olympic team. This just happened. And last night I think it was Skate North, they had a surprise party with friends and family and, people who grew up skating with him, and Tony Muse and his coach and his proud mom was there and everything. And it was just really cool. And it reminds me of the part I love about the Olympics the most, and what we missed the most in the COVID Olympics, which is the family stories and the sense of pride and the family being there and cheering on the athletes are so proud of, especially in sports like speed skating that don't get a lot of attention outside the Olympics. And Andy, he's not just representing the red, white, and blue. He's a threat to win a gold medal.
Yeah, in the Winter Olympics, those family stories are really important because these are sports that we don't pay attention to outside of the Olympics at all. And speed skate, it's just amazing that somebody from Des Moines, I don't know. I mean, do they speed skate? Is speed skating bigger in Minnesota and Wisconsin than it is here? I honestly don't know. I mean, I know there's more ice, but
no.
Speed skating is a sport that you got to find where to participate in that sport.
Well, and in most every state, including Iowa, what they do is they look for really fast rollerbladers and, from the roller rinks.
Inline skaters, yeah.
And then they take them to the United States training ground like they did with Zach Stoppelmore and teach them how to speed skate because they already basically have
that makes sense.
all the skills they need to become good at that. But it's a little like what they have to do with bobsledding. It's not like you can learn to bobsled at Roosevelt High School, but they turned Lolo Jones, because of her strength and speed, into a cart pusher on the bobsled. So some of these sports, they have to train them like that. So
well, I mean, but inline skating too. I don't see anybody rolling around the streets on inline skates either. That is a sport that, if that's going to be your sport, man, I imagine you got to travel a lot. You got to find a way to train. There's probably not coaches coming out of the yellow pages here to coach that kind of stuff. And we have Tony Muse, who certainly is an authority on the whole sport and is probably very well connected. Certainly doesn't look like he's aged a day, by the way.
No, gosh, he hasn't aged much at all. By the way, you mentioned that these are sports that don't get attention, most of them, outside the Olympics. And that's a hint. Do you know when the most recent television program happened that was not the number one rated television program of that year, other than the Super Bowl? The last time the Super Bowl was not the top rated show of the year, top rated program. It's Super Bowl year after year after year, and not by a small margin, by a wide margin. And number two is some other football game. But the most recent time the Super Bowl wasn't the most watched show of the year.
Seinfeld finale in 1999?
That was my guess.
No, it is when Tanya Harding skated against Nancy Kerrigan in prime time. That beat the Super Bowl that year.
Jeez.
Remember
was
that
that 92
circus?
or 94? I guess I don't remember.
They switched at some point around there. They switched the summer and winter Olympics, so they weren't the same year. And I don't remember. I think that was 94, but I'm not positive.
That sounds right, because 92 were the Summer Olympics in Barcelona with the Dream Team.
Getting to be a long time ago.
Yeah.
Let's catch the buzz here on a Wednesday.
The Buzz. Brought to you by Logier Heating and Cooling.
Logier Heating and Cooling, bringing comfort home season after season. Well, number 19, Iowa loses at Minnesota 70-67. And Andy had former Drake coach Ben McCullum against former Drake coach Nico Medved. Both were at Drake 1 year. Isn't that right? Medved was just there 1 year, too.
Mm-hmm. He
Is
was.
that correct?
Yep.
So Iowa's going to Minnesota. Minnesota's not very good, but well coached, because Nico Medved is a good coach.
He is.
So they're well coached, and Ben McCullum is such a good coach that in many of these games, he's so much better than the other coach that's enough. Against Nico Medved, you could see that wasn't necessarily the case. Now, Iowa had not won a true road game, and this was a really good opportunity for a team that needs to do that. But this was a disaster for Iowa for most of the game. Iowa's 4 leading scorers did not score in the first half. That sounds like it's not even possible. Bennett Sturts included. Bennett Sturts had one of those Jared Utoff games. Mm-hmm. He had 0 points at the half and finished at 21. And he's usually more consistent than that. But that's kind of the worry with a team without a lot of scoring options that Iowa is. If you find a way to shut down Bennett Sturts, somebody else has to step up, and Iowa struggled to do that until very late.
And it's also just basketball. I mean, your best shooters have off nights, and you don't have somebody else that's having an on night. I mean, it can pull the whole team down. And he had a few games like that with the Bulldogs last year, and it was rough. And you thought when you were watching those games, oh boy, here comes the slide, right? Because you have an off night when you're not expecting an off night, and then that snowballs into another off night. But that's where the Ben McCullum season was so different, is that they almost always pulled themselves out of the skid immediately, right. the very next game. And that's, one thing that Iowa fans can, kind of sit back on at this point is knowing that's been a trademark of Ben McCullum going all the way back to Northwest Missouri State, is that his teams figure things out, and they don't usually repeat. They don't usually fall into a deep, multi-game funk. That's different in the Big Ten. The competition level is considerably higher, and the other coaches are probably better for the most part. So, Nico Medved, these other guys, they're coming up with plans to stop Ben McCullum and his team. So it's not just all about how Iowa's team is playing. Obviously, it's going to be about what the other team is doing to stop them.
And we saw more talk of the free throw discrepancy, and that is going to happen in conference road games in most any conference, but certainly in the Big Ten. But more than anything, even at home, you have to remember that says a lot about Iowa's. Excuse me, Andy. Okay. Tried to clear my throat. Think I did it. Iowa's style of play.
Yeah, we heard it.
Yeah,
did I
you didn't
not
mute
mute?
the mic there.
Okay.
Yeah, you sounded like I won't say what it sounded like. Go ahead.
All right. Now, did that mute at that
That
time?
did.
Yes, you did.
Okay,
Yep,
so
good
my
job.
timing was off before. Sorry about that. Iowa's style of play is just to use every possession, milk the shot clock down as much as possible. And for the most part, the Hawkeyes don't penetrate a lot. They don't pick up a lot of fouls, and other teams attack them by going into the paint. So even in games that Iowa wins, like they blew out Maryland, but Maryland shot 20 more free throws than Iowa, that's just mainly a style of play difference. The other thing that was troubling here at the end of this game is, Iowa kept fighting. Credit for that. The Hawkeyes stayed in there. They needed this win. This was, I think this is not a good game to lose, and I'll explain why in just a minute. But they did fight back. They had a run. They got in the game when it seemed they were done. They were down 14, and even on a night where the game was ugly and hard to watch at times, they came back and took the lead and had a chance to win this. But then they get 3 looks, thanks to some Manyao rebounding. They get 3 looks at a 3 to tie the game at the end. And Sturtz has a defender just fly by him, and he's wide open, and he missed it.
Well, he's not perfect.
No, not perfect. But
Minnesota's that could be a house of horrors for teams. That weird
It's such
gym.
a terrible place to play.
Yeah, and we've certainly seen every other Hawkeye coach before Ben McCullum has had trouble at Williams Arena. They've won there too, but gone and had trouble. But it's a 3-point loss on the road.
yeah, it's one game, but I do think. I think it's a bad loss. Opportunity to get a road win.
Murph, that's just the type of negative energy that
Well,
Hawkeye fans don't need to hear.
They've got Iowa has a tough schedule, obviously, and we're seeing already these true road games. They're 0-3 in the true road games that they played, and they do have a high net rating. Iowa does, but they've mostly built that high net rating on beating the crap out of bad basketball teams. Routing them, because Ben McCullum, much like TJ Otzelberger, knows how to manipulate the net. And you do that by routing teams and not playing a UNI or Drake. You play bad teams and you beat them by 40 or 50. So Iowa's net rating isn't bad, but they really don't have good wins. Ole Miss is not good. That's maybe Iowa's best win or the home win over UCLA. So to have a chance to get a road win like this, it does put more pressure on these upcoming games. They go to Purdue, to Indiana. Those are going to be tough games. And then suddenly this Sunday game against Illinois at Carver Hawkeye Arena in what's expected to be a full house. That's
Already
a game
went
Iowa
to Purdue,
needs.
right?
That was
No.
Iowa State.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was jeez.
Hopefully it's the same
I was
outcome.
like, I know I watched a game in Mackey Arena.
Yeah,
already,
yeah. If they
but
could go do it
Iowa hasn't been
At
there
Purdue,
yet.
what
Crazy
Iowa
as
State
Right,
did,
right.
that would be great. But AD, you host Buckets with Jake Brend. We overreact to everything. We do. I know that. But it feels to me like this is a game you need to win, because if you look at Iowa's resume, they don't have a lot right now. And with the way this team is constructed, where if you shut Sturtz down, you got a chance to beat this team, or if you minimize Sturtz's contributions, just looking for where are those wins coming from to get them a decent seeding in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, it's interesting because all of that is true, and I do think it was a bad loss, and it sucked as a fan last night, and there are flaws on this team. I feel like the fan base and the team itself is almost victims of Ben McCullum's success thus far because they're way ahead of schedule. I mean, this is the first half of the first season under Ben McCullum, and we're all acting like, well, this is a team that should be a 5 or 6 seed in the NCAA tournament. And if they don't do these things and put this resume together, it's going to, they might slip to a 10 seed. And in reality, a 10 seed in the tournament in his first year is an overwhelming success with a bunch of guys who were at Drake last season. And so it's this weird thing. I keep having to put myself in perspective of, hey, this is year one under McCullum. And yeah, because they're ranked, they're a top 20 team and they're winning these games and you love the way they play and they look great some nights, but there are going to be bumps in the road. They're going to be growing pains. Ben McCullum doesn't know how to win on the road in the Big Ten yet, right? As you said, he's coaching against the highest quality coach he's ever coached against, and he's got to figure out how to get his guys to not foul and how to draw fouls on the other side. And so there's a learning curve here, but because they've been so successful so far, it feels like they're further ahead than they actually are.
It's funny how quickly found money becomes
Yes.
money, your money, the money that you earned,
true.
the money that you can't stand to part with.
I've spent found money like 5 different ways. Like they've gone way beyond what I even found. It's that happens. How much juice do you think comes out of the Sunday game? Like,
I think it adds. I think there's.
You think it adds?
Yeah, because
Well,
now it feels like you have to go get that one, and it's your biggest rival in the conference. It's at home, as you said. Should be a great crowd. 11 a.m. on Sunday. There's no excuse. So I think if anything, if you're rolling into this game, you could say, well, you dropped this game, you still have a chance to get a couple of big wins. Now it feels like, hey, you got to go win this game against your rival.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you, Eric the Orange, who can be antagonistic and also pessimistic, says that
A lot of istics.
yeah, he is. He is concerned that Iowa's loss at Minnesota is going to make it more difficult on the Illini. But he does caution everybody in Iowa City, the Orange Crush is coming. Just
Really?
look, yeah, oh yeah, the Orange Crush is coming. Just look how they showed out at Ohio State.
Oh yeah, they got 20 or 30 seats.
They're all the way up in the corner. What?
They're coming, baby.
They can't move down a little bit. Is that all right? I mean, are they that bad that like the arena officials are like, you stay up there, and there needs to be at least a 15-row buffer zone on all sides.
Yeah, they're like a COVID group.
Yeah, they're just like there's like a snow fence. They may as well bring a snow fence. It'll only add to the orange. But it says the Orange Crush are coming, and Iowa, they've tried to keep them out before.
Oh.
And you can only hope to contain them. You can't stop them.
Number 3, Iowa State is at Baylor tonight, and with a win, the Cyclones would have their best start in school history, 15-0, tied right now with the team, probably 10 years ago, the Niang team, one of the Niang teams. But Baylor is not as good as we're used to Baylor being, but it's a road game. I think Iowa State is about a 5-point favorite. The Baylor women ended Iowa State women's chance for their best start ever, so there's some intrigue there. That's coming up tonight, I think at 7. Is it on Peacock?
I think it's a
It
Peacock
is,
game.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Get ready for the complaints.
Well, sign up for that old Peacock, everybody.
I asked somebody if they could get access to our free Peacock password, and some like, we're not affiliated with Peacock. I understand why someone would think if you work at an NBC affiliate, you might just have free Peacock everything. We don't get free Peacock anything. We don't even get a Peacock T-shirt.
We should. We're going to show highlights from that broadcast, right?
Yeah, we at the station have to pay for Peacock. I mean, not just the individuals, like to record it for the newscast tonight so we can show highlights at Baylor. We have a subscription to Peacock.
It's like the
Crazy
state
world.
fair, and nobody gets a free ride.
Nobody gets anything
Everybody's
free.
paying.
You want Peacock? You pay for Peacock. Isaiah Brockington, former Cyclone, signed with the Iowa Wolves. Well, he hasn't signed. He was acquired in a trade. Can you believe this is like 5 years ago?
Yeah, I had to kind of remember who he was, which is a reminder of how quickly the window on college sports stardom closes. But he was a really important player.
Great
for
mid-range
TJ.
jumper.
Yeah, kind of did everything. Real solid defensive player, as I recall. A kind of one of those players that TJ Otzelberger would probably take him at any time on any of his teams.
Yeah, he was a really good all-around player. And I just remember appreciating that he shot many mid-range jumpers because we've kind of lost that in basketball. It's just all threes are dunks, especially at the NBA level. And he would shoot as he did in that clip there. He'd shoot that mid-range jumper. Portal surprise can still happen. This, I wondered if it could, especially at Iowa, which is a place you just don't expect someone who clearly loves being a Hawkeye and had nothing but positive things to say, like Cohen Entringer. And he's a captain of the team. And this really surprised me, and we're all trying to get our mind around, especially because he had just said, he had told reporters the day after Christmas that he was not going to enter the NFL draft. I'm sure he'd gotten some kind of evaluation that showed he wasn't going to be drafted high, if at all. So he said he was coming back to Iowa, and then something changed, and it doesn't really take much speculation to come to the conclusion of what likely changed.
I would love to see like a Netflix series on the portal, where they follow players toward the end of the season, or maybe the whole season. And the whole emphasis is not really on, their existence with their current teams. It's like the age, actually I'd like to know all of it. I would like to know what it is like to be a college athlete. That would be a really interesting series if you had a bunch of college athletes who, have graduated from college 10, 20 years ago, and they're kind of comparing their experiences with modern day college athletes. But it would be interesting to see, get an inside window into conversations with coaches about recruiting, with agents that want to represent them or maybe do represent them, or their parents. And that would just be really, because right now I feel like we're kind of in the dark about the whole thing, aren't we? I mean, we hear little details here and there, but we don't really know what it's like. I would really be interested to see something like that, because I bet it's just like a season-long drama. Right?
Oh, because if you're speculating that a Hawkeye captain who's had a great career and is at a place that puts many players into the NFL far above what their recruiting rankings were as they came into what you should expect as they came into college. So that Entringer doesn't need to go somewhere else to get into the NFL or to be coached up into an NFL player. NFL teams love drafting Hawkeyes because they expect them to not only be good players, but good in the locker room.
High success rate. Yep.
High success rate. Yeah. So, he doesn't need to leave for that. So you have to believe that his agent, and they almost all have an agent now, has said, well, here's what your value is. You need to go back to Iowa and say, this is what I'm going to need. And then Iowa has to make that decision with the money they have available. Do we want to pay him that much? And then you would speculate that you got to know, which then if you're that age and you don't know, and I don't know that he's going to have an NFL career. I don't know that he's going to make money in the NFL. If his hypothetical offer from Iowa, and it is a complete hypothetical here, say he's getting $300,000 at Iowa and he knows he can go somewhere else with deeper pockets that might pay him $750, that's not an insignificant amount of money in your early prime earning years, especially if you don't know that you're going to get that in the NFL. The New York Times and The Athletic posted this column yesterday that shows what the getting prices are right now in college athletics, in major college athletics. Quarterbacks, $1 million to $4 million a season. Offensive tackles, $600,000 to $1.3 million. Running backs are $400,000 to $900,000. Wide receivers, $500,000 to $1 million. Tight ends, $300,000 to $900,000. Edge rushers, $500,000 to $2 million. Interior defensive linemen, $500,000 to $1.5 million. Corners get $250,000 to $1 million, and safeties $250,000 to $900,000 a season.
All of that is a lot. The problem is they're all comparing themselves to their counterparts, so it doesn't seem like so much money. But my God, I mean, if you were able to just turn that kind of money over at that age, and first of all, they don't have any expenses right now,
right? Because it's full cost of attendance now. This isn't 15, 20 years ago where you would see those stories about, well, on Sunday nights when the cafeteria wasn't open, I really struggled to eat because, we didn't get any stipend. They have full cost of attendance, everything, books, classes, housing, meal money beyond a full nutrition center. They get everything. So
you could take $200,000 or $250,000 and give it to Tim Hawkins and just set yourself up. I mean, seriously, you could. I mean, if you had somebody that was, just smart enough or had, responsible parents that stood up, and I'm sure this does happen. They stand up and they're like, oh, okay, give us the money. We're going to set you up right now. I mean, start building your wealth at like age 18.
Oh, you would be so smart to do that.
Incredible.
But more likely, you buy a really cool car.
Oh, yeah. You buy a car and then you got to pay for the insurance for a 19-year-old with a $100,000 Mercedes. There goes your money quick.
Paying your buddy to be your agent.
And some of these agents are buddies or uncles or AAU coaches or old high school friends. It's hard for the portal to surprise us anymore, but this one did surprise me. It surprised you?
It did, yeah. The specifics of it did, but then again, you just kind of have to remember, hey, this is what this is now. No player is safe. You can't ever assume that the team one season is going to look anything like the team next season. I don't know where he's going to go or what's going to happen. I don't know anything about the guys Iowa is bringing in right now in the portal. I guess we'll see what the team looks like in fall camp and judge it from there. But this one hurt, especially because there was talk of him going to the NFL. And in Tampa, it was like, no, he's coming back next year. And it's all right, here we go. And now this happens. But again, this is going to happen more and more often.
These things are predictable. Like we said, as Cyclone fans are getting increasingly annoyed at Matt Campbell poaching Cyclone football players. There's 20 now at Penn State. That is a record. And Campbell was at Iowa State for 10 years. So I get that for some it was eye-opening that I thought his loyalty was to Iowa State. His loyalty's to his career and his family and trying to win now at Penn State. So he's getting his players. That really annoyed some fans. But are those same fans annoyed that Jimmy Rogers has now taken 10 Washington State Cougars?
Absolutely they are. They're principled.
Probably not. I mean, 10 is a significant number too. It's not 20, but 10 is getting up there. Washington's Damon Williams is going to be a fascinating case here. He had just signed, and I guess that's the report Washington is saying, whatever the Big Ten's template contract is for NIL. Now, he had signed for around $4 million to play again for Washington next season. So January 2nd, he announces that he is staying at Washington because we have to go through these annoying, I'm staying, I re-signed. But now he reportedly wants to go to LSU. Who's LSU's head coach? Lane Kiffin. So in 4 days, he apparently changed his mind, and he put this release out, which is way too long for these circumstances. But he goes from January 2nd saying, I'm back, to January 6th saying, I'm gone. And Washington has said it's not going to release him. That's a whole different discussion. Do you want somebody playing quarterback who no longer wants to be at your school?
You
that we hear coaches say all the time. If you don't want to be here, we don't want him here. Go somewhere else.
Why would you? Yeah.
But Washington has said it's not going to release him. So Williams' camp says they're going to pursue getting out of this. And now, among other things, I think we just need to know, did he actually sign or did he make a verbal commitment? Because that would be a big difference. And is any of this stuff binding? Because
is it enforceable anyway? So what are you signing?
Not an employee.
Recruitment letter or something? What are they signing?
Yeah, he's not an employee.
Letter of intent to play?
And they're signing these guys with promises of money through sponsors that hasn't even gone through the NCAA clearinghouse yet. You know, they're getting a $3 or $4 million sponsor to have a player stay, but technically that's not supposed to be allowed. There's supposed to be a soft cap on what you can give, but everybody's just blowing right by that.
Yeah, the NCAA is like a closed way station along the highway right now. Everybody just blows right by it. I was looking at this headline yesterday. Everybody probably knows this news already, but Trinidad Chambliss is in the news. He's so good. But just how crazy is this story? All right, just a headline, okay? Ole Miss quarterback Trinidad Chambliss has agreed to a new deal that would have him return to the Rebels in 2026 if the NCAA approves his pending waiver for a 6th season of eligibility. All right, first of all, he's still playing, right? I mean, Ole Miss is alive in the college football playoff. Meanwhile, their quarterback is negotiating
another year,
a deal to stay with that team for another year, college quarterback.
Right.
If this is all dependent on the NCAA approving a normally 4-year college player to play a 6th year.
Like Diego Pavia. You remember when Jess Settles would everybody would have so much fun with how long he was at Iowa? I mean, gosh, that just seems so long ago because this is happening all the time. Tom Brady was a long-time backup at Michigan, and he was asked by Joel Klatt what he thinks he would have done in this era of free agency.
My college experience was very challenging. It was very competitive. The lessons I learned in college, certainly about competition, those traits transformed my life as a professional. I was ready to compete against anybody because the competition in college toughened me up so much that I had a self-belief and self-confidence in myself that whatever I was faced, I could overcome that. And I think if we take that away from a young student athlete to say, you know what, I know it's tough to compete, but what we're going to do, before you have to compete, we're actually going to put you somewhere else so that you don't have to compete. That is absolutely the wrong thing to do to a young child. And I would challenge all the coaches and all the parents. They're the ones that have to guide these kids. You can't expect a 17 or 18-year-old to make these great decisions. They're young. They don't have life experience. It should be the parents. Be a good parent. Teach your kid the right values. What's going to sustain them in their careers over a period of time? Whether it's football or whether it's business or whether it's teaching or law school or medical school or a trade, whatever you want to do, you're going to have to go through hard things in your life. You're going to have to make tough choices. And the value isn't always about the last dollar. So I think all these things that are happening in college sports, we're prioritizing the wrong things. We're valuing the wrong things. And I'm not saying it's not important. It's one of 10 things that are important.
Yeah.
And certainly to me, it's not the most important. So when kids do go through that the right way, they're actually learning the right values.
Yeah.
And when you have the right values in life, that's going to sustain you as you move on through the rest of your life.
Thanks to the Joel Klatt Show for that. I agree with most of what Brady says there. But I also understand where these young men are coming from, especially the ones who are not from a really comfortable background like Tom Brady was. If they can move and make more money than most of us will ever make in a year in our lifetime, you understand where it can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll point out, I think that's the first good-looking roll pad I've ever seen. But the
it might be because Brady's wearing it.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It was cool though. The Masters, that was a good-looking hat.
Here's another one on your screen. Look at that.
Not cool, Andy. Not cool.
Yeah, he's wearing a rope hat today.
We have way better hats than that. Yeah, we've got better hats than that. I'll show you a better hat than that right now.
I'll show you a better hat.
I mean, it's Tom Brady using his hindsight, and and you know, even if it was Tom Brady, okay, and you could legitimately take him back. What was it, 25 years now? So more than 25 years.
Yeah, he would probably leave.
He probably would. Yeah, I mean, and erase his memory and say, okay, now Tom, I've got two options for you. You stay at Michigan and you have to fight hard, and you might not, you got to compete for this job. It might not work out, but it could be some real character building. Boy, yeah, the bullshit meter goes off immediately when you start trying to push character. Hey, now character building, this is where you can really, teach yourself some good life lessons. Those are hard to sell. Right. Looking ahead, not knowing what the future actually is. And then, on the other side is, or you could go to another big school, start immediately, and make yourself immediately rich. I mean, that's just a really hard opponent to go up against. I mean, if you're trying to keep him at Michigan.
Especially with the circumstances of you don't know most of your teammates that well in many of these cases. And you probably don't know the school that well because it might be your third or fourth stop at this point. K-State player McGuire Richmond, probably a name you don't know unless you're a big K-State fan. But he posted something refreshing yesterday across social media, and it was simply that I've been asked to leave. He said the coaches, the new coaches here, have told me I need to go elsewhere or that I don't fit into their plans. And I mention him because I bring this up again because this has happened at Iowa State. It's happened to other places, especially when there's a coaching change. It's happening at Penn State. There will be players in that locker room who were there the previous season with different coaches who are now being told, you don't fit into our plans, get into the portal.
Yeah, hop in that portal.
Get in the portal, you're being pushed out. I mean, they're being pushed out. And sometimes it's players who don't want to leave. They might be local kids. I know I can think of one case at Iowa State where someone doesn't want to leave, but he's being told you need to go. So the portal isn't just players that can't wait to get out or want to leave or have better options. It works both ways. If you don't have contracts, that everybody's year to year, including the coaches.
Yeah, it seems like we've got a kind of a golden rule coming to light here, and that is don't be surprised by the portal ever, like what it does, what it affects, who it touches. But, I mean, this has happened for years, though. I mean, new coaches come in, and or even with their longtime coach, they can suddenly decide this player doesn't fit anymore, and then they push him out. You saw that with – didn't Tim Floyd like to do that?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of the way it is. It's the way it's been. It's definitely going to be the way it is in the future here because these guys are moving around so much and they can move around so much. And it may mean that somebody that doesn't want to move around has to.
The Ravens fired John Harbaugh, and that in and of itself is fascinating because Sunday night, as we watched, hoping that somehow the Ravens kicker, Tyler Loop, the rookie, would miss that kick. Or actually the Steelers kicker that missed the extra point relieved all of us knowing there wasn't overtime coming. But Tyler Loop misses that kick. And in that moment, you can now see, I think it's pretty clear, at least in the Ravens case, the loser of that game, I mean, that kick decided that John Harbaugh would be fired because if the kick goes in like everyone expected it, the Ravens are in the playoffs. They're not firing John Harbaugh. And Mike Tomlin might be fired, or at least they might come to some kind of agreement for his exit plan because the Steelers wouldn't be in the playoffs, and that seemed to have a lot of traction. So that one kick has tumbled over these dominoes, including Harbaugh's agent said today, and this does not surprise me at all, that he has already been contacted by 7 NFL teams. Andy, I think you could even have an NFL team that planned to keep their coach. If they can land Harbaugh, they might go ahead and fire that coach this week.
Yeah, he's been that good, and he's won a Super Bowl, and his teams have been consistently excellent. I mean, for seems like forever. I don't even remember who the coach was before John Harbaugh there. He's been the better Harbaugh coach in the NFL. I mean, he's been just a consistent guy that has had really good defenses. He's had good quarterbacks. He seems like he's developed guys. It seems like they haven't missed on a lot of draft picks. I'm sure he's been involved in that as well. But I don't know. We're not on the inside in Baltimore. I don't follow that team so closely that sometimes something can look one way from the outside. It can look kind of obvious, and then you get talking with some real fans, and
Right.
they explain to you that maybe he just really wasn't getting along he was sick of management, or they were sick of him, and there were building problems there, and they just really need a regime change. And that does happen sometimes. And sometimes, those great coaches, they get so comfortable, and it just gets to the point where nobody can tell them anything, and they need to change, and they won't. But he'll get a job offer immediately.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen so many NFL teams to absolutely reach on coaches, and you're not reaching with John Harbaugh
But if you're going to fire John Harbaugh,
or with Mike Tomlin.
you need to have a plan. You shouldn't just fire him for the sake of firing him. Tony Dungy.
Maybe they do. I don't know. Do they have a plan?
I don't know. They should have a plan. Dungy was upset. He said, "I can't believe what things have come to in the NFL. John Harbaugh has coached the Baltimore Ravens for 18 years, took them to the playoffs 12 times, won a Super Bowl. The last 4 years, they were 10-7, 13-4, 12-5, and 8-9. They made the playoffs 3 straight years and missed this year because their kicker missed the game-winning field goal on the last play of the season, and he was fired. I'm sorry, but I don't understand. Good luck, Baltimore, in finding a better coach." I mean, that's about as upset as you see Tony Dungy.
Yeah, and those fans are going to be, man. You better come out with an immediate home run on this, or they're going to be on the case of that general manager and that owner.
Brian Billick. Thank you, Mick Samsonite. Brian Billick was the coach. I think he led them to a Super Bowl too, right? They have 2. The Ravens have 2.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah,
Brian Billick.
Right around 2000, something like that.
All right, coming up in more, the Caribbean will come up, or the Caribbean. We'll get to that later, but right now, the all-important quickie poll from WCI Pools and Spas in Ames and Urbandale.
How do you say that word? Is it Caribbean or Caribbean?
Right now, it's 50-50, a
50-50.
perfect split with 160 votes in. I have such a cop-out on this, because I say it both ways depending on where it fits in the sentence.
I do too.
Yeah.
And I think that probably that's the reason this vote is going the way it's going.
But I if I have to pick one, it would be Caribbean, because I think Billy Ocean is the reason.
Had it right. Yeah.
Oh, and the Pirates, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, it's not Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yes, not Pirates of the Caribbean. That's coming up. Back with more and Mr. Movie.
Rodeo fans, saddle up for the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo, presented by RM43, January 9th and 10th at Casey Center. Come early for autographs, pony rides, and more. Get tickets now at HighVTix.com. The buck starts here at the Cinch World's Toughest Rodeo.
But wait, there's more. From Either Or Eatery and Patio.
You'll find them at 6222 Grand Avenue, best patio in the state of Iowa, and you might even be able to use that patio tonight. They've got heaters out there as well, little fire pits, great food coming from the inside. Food and drinks at Either Or.
Patio in January. My goodness.
Yeah, you might want to do it just to say you did it,
Yeah.
right? For the novelty of it. The Eagles are back in Des Moines. Did you know that? Not those Eagles.
Not Don Henley.
Those Eagles. Yeah, the bald Eagles. Yeah, they always
Saw them.
flock. Yeah, I bet you could probably sit out on your deck and watch them. You probably they might take a shit on your deck, Murph.
I'd rather they didn't, Whatever I
Might
need
pick-
to do to
might
prevent that, I'm
grab
all
a
for.
put a roof on it or something.
Eagles
I
are
guess.
they're bigger than people think too, because we see them from so far away. I don't need that crap landing on my house.
Yeah. They are all. It blows me away. But when I was growing up, when we were all growing up, there weren't any eagles around. They were on the endangered species list. They were almost
in Philly.
extinct.
Exclusively Philly.
They were dead. I mean, there probably are some in downtown Philadelphia. And anywhere there's a river that has open water in the wintertime, you will see those eagles gather. Downtown Des Moines, though, has sometimes there can be 40, 50 of them out there. And it's so cool to watch them. Just go stand on one of the bridges downtown if you got a little extra time and just watch the eagles fish.
Soar.
It's mesmerizing. Yeah, soaring around, and they swoop down. They'll grab a fish out of the River Des Moines, eat it. It's pretty stinking cool. A shout out to our friend Chad Higgins and his wife Liz. Now we know Chad as the owner of WCI Pools and Spas, and one of the most laid back people that we know. Certainly the most laid back of our sponsors.
He's as low maintenance as it gets.
He is so chill.
It's because he's so relaxed because he's in a hot tub.
Yeah, right. Well, I mean, that does fit, right? He's a hot tub guy, so he's always relaxed. But he is so easy to deal with and such a nice guy. But I wouldn't wish this on anybody. Certainly not Chad. So Chad and Liz, the Higginses, were vacationing in St. Martin, the Dutch West Indies island there in the Caribbean. They were there. They had a really nice vacation, and then President Trump did the attack on Venezuela, which shut down all of the airspace over the Caribbean. It didn't occur to me how big a deal that was. Yeah, just shut it down.
Yeah.
Like all the islands, everything, just shut it down. Planes, not letting them get in and out of there. I didn't realize that we could do that over that big a space. Maybe the space, St. Martin isn't that far from Venezuela. Maybe it was just kind of in that limited space, but still a really, really big area.
It's a big area. I get why it would be
flights.
done, but it would be it would be a nightmare travel inconvenience.
Absolute nightmare. Right. So,
get stuck
Chad
in
and
St.
Liz,
Martin.
their flight out of St. Martin on Saturday was one of the last to get canceled.
Okay.
So all of the flights out of St. Martin for the next week were completely booked. And, it sounds like you could just, you're in the Caribbean. You can just
have a good time.
just go relax for another week. Well, I bet you've checked out of your hotel. You've got responsibilities and people are counting on you back here at home. I mean, you got to get home, right? We've been in that situation before. It's not as easy as, you've probably maybe even gone to the airport.
Yeah, and they're not going to give you a free room or something to stay.
Not a place like that. So he's got to get out of there. So he has to. He spent hours on the phone putting together some sort of plan that would get them from St. Martin back to Des Moines at a time when Venezuela is like right in the way and still very much an ongoing situation. So here's how the Higginses had to get home. They had to take a 42-hour, 7-airport, 5-country marathon.
7
travel.
airports? 7.
St. Martin to Curacao, which is right off the coast of Venezuela, by the way. Curacao to Bogota, Colombia, which that flight goes right over Venezuela. Bogota to San Salvador, El Salvador. San Salvador to Houston. Houston to Denver. Denver to Des Moines. I mean, there's no stress like travel stress. We've agreed on that before.
And even those are exotic vacationing locations. The airport is not the place to see those countries.
Well, I don't know. Do you know anybody that's taken a relaxing vacation to Colombia or El Salvador?
No, I don't.
I don't. No, I can't imagine that those are fun places to go to. But Anyway, so best wishes to the Higginses that they've gotten back and gotten unpacked and gotten some real sleep. And I bet their own beds felt better than ever after that. From the Des Moines Register, Graziano's is planning a major expansion that will include a cafe and bakery.
Oh, wow.
Documents filed with the city of Des Moines show a proposal for their building there on South Union Street in Des Moines' Little Italy neighborhood near Columbus Park. I know that area well. I think most of us do.
This is a Kirk Ferentz stop every time he's in Des Moines.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, when he comes to see his daughter.
Let's go in there.
They are going to increase the floor space in the historic store and deli by nearly a third. It would add also an 8,500 square foot warehouse and production facility and parking along an alleyway behind the buildings. This has kind of been overdue down here. This place can get really crowded. I love going to Graziano's.
I do too.
Love it. I love going stocking up. Great place to buy spices. And the deli is, of course, amazing. But yeah, I'm going to expand this place. I do worry about it getting too popular, though.
They have made me a Graziano's snob. Like something's on the menu and it's, pasta with sausage. Is it Graziano's sausage?
Yeah, and it's not. You're like, I don't want it as much. Yeah, well, they're going to be maybe making that a little more accessible to everybody. Speaking of Italians, here's Joe Pesci accepting the Best Supporting Actor Oscar for his role in Goodfellas in 1991. Here is the entire speech.
Hold on.
Well, it's my privilege. Thank you.
God bless him. We need more of that.
You know what?
Thank you.
That is only, I think, the 6th shortest acceptance speech at the Oscars.
There were some shorter?
Yeah, he used 5 words. Alfred Hitchcock and others only said 2. Thank you. And then they walked off.
Marcel Marceau didn't say anything.
Just mimed the thank you. I went down kind of a rabbit hole of Oscars moments from years past, and there's one that's really kind of interesting with Charlie Chaplin, where they're honoring him in like 1972.
He had been blackballed or I don't know.
Blacklisted, yeah, because he was a suspected communist and all that McCarthy
I think
crap.
it's the longest standing ovation in Oscars history, right?
Yeah, but there's more to, because I had seen that clip, a whole bunch of times. There's kind of more to it. Somebody kind of walks him out there, and he's not near the lectern, the microphone. He's standing there, and he this amazing, huge standing ovation. He's taking, and he's very moved. But then after that, he doesn't really know what he's supposed to do, because again, he's not by the microphone, and so somebody has to come back out and then walk him up to the microphone and say, go ahead and say a few words, Charlie. And then he gives this kind of very moving short speech, and then he's not sure what he's supposed to do after that point. So the people have to come back out, and they give him like his hat and cane, like his trademark hat and cane, and then they have they take him back off of the thing. So anyways, sometimes it's kind of funny when you watch the entire thing in context instead of just a little snippet.
Yes.
Love this story about Shaquille O'Neal. And 24-year-old Jordan Wilmore, who is
How big is Jordan Wilmore?
He's 7'3". He played college basketball, but always wanted to be a cop. He flunked the entrance exam the first time he took it, and Shaq saw his story, which Steve Hartman had done a story, kind of an interesting feature story on Jordan Wilmore. Shaq saw it and then stepped in to pay Wilmore's expenses for the next 5 months so that he can study for the exam and retake it.
That's cool.
I love the way Shaq uses his money.
Me too.
And influence. First of all, I love the random ways that he uses it. You just kind of never know when he's going to drop in and do something like that.
And he's got a new candy coming out. You'll see it soon, because I'm sure John Sears will stop and buy bags full of it. It's gummy candy, shaped like basketballs and rims, and it's Shakalicious Dunks, Dunk Gummies, Slam Dunk Gummies.
Okay. Great. Okay. Another gummy candy out there. Finally, America. That's not all that creative. I thought it was going to be something. There was going to be more to that.
Listen, they're not all gold.
Yeah, they're not all winners. Finally, America is falling out of love with pizza. Pizzerias once ranked second in sales behind burger joints.
False. We're getting more Grimaldi's pizzas for this year's Iowa Everywhere party, not fewer.
We are. We're getting more. We are getting more. But pizzerias now sit in 6th place. They are outnumbered by coffee shops and Mexican restaurants. Now, there are several major pizza chains have faced financial trouble. Pizza Hut, Papa John's, Papa Murphy's have either filed for bankruptcy or are rumored to be up for sale. California Pizza Kitchen was sold to an investor group last month. So there are a number of things at play here. As the Moore team dived deeper into this story. First of all, affordability issue, obviously, with everything in America right now. Pizzas have gotten way more expensive. I mean, they have. They're still pretty reasonable, but the price has gone up. Diets, shunning carbs and gluten have really hurt pizza.
You could have some numbers going down just from loss of appetite for the people who are taking the weight loss drugs.
The Ozempics, maybe that cuts into it also. But they say the biggest reason is the rise and proliferation of delivery apps. Now it's not only pizza that you can have delivered to your house. You can have anything delivered to your house. So pizza has more competition than it used to. A lot of things at play, though. That is interesting.
Good job from the Moore team.
Pizza still looks good to me every single day, I will point out. There's never a day where I would not want pizza. That's your More, everybody.
Confluence, the official beer of Murph and Andy. Confluence is where good things come together. And if you can't find a draft beer you like at Confluence, you don't like beer.
You don't like draft beer.
They got everything. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for Mike Woody, also known as Mr. Movie.
It's time to go to the movies with Mr. Movie, Mike Woody, presented by P&P Small Engines.
There he is.
Now I need pizza.
I know that
Thanks,
pizza
man.
looked good, didn't it? That
It
pizza
did look
looked
good.
All right, P&P Small Engines presents Mr. Movie each week. And did you have a good Christmas, Mike? Did you have a good trip?
I did have a good Christmas. We were down in Phoenix for 4 days, and then we came back and hung out here and just kind of calm.
And it's the same temperature here.
Pretty much.
It seems like it. Our out-of-the-box topic is going to ramp us into Mr. Movie's favorite movies of the year. But first, we're each going to give our favorite movie of the year and then turn it over to Mike for his list, including his honorable mentions. So I didn't see as many movies in the theater as I like to, but I think my favorite movie of the year, because it was my favorite movie experience, was going to the Palms IMAX and watching F1 with my wife, Jenny. Jenny loved this movie. And seeing it up there on the big screen and Brad Pitt in all of his charismatic superstardom, just the whole movie was the reason you go to the theaters. The sound was incredible. It looked amazing in IMAX. The story was good. It's a guy in Marshalltown that also made Top Gun Maverick, is the director of this movie. And I had a great day, great experience that day. So I'll go with F1. It's not the movie I would keep watching year after year, but that was my favorite time at the movies. What do you got, Andy?
I didn't see a whole lot of new movies last year, but in the last month or so, you guys pointed me to Train Dreams, and I'll take that one. That movie stuck with me. I've thought about that movie ever since I watched it. I'll be circling back around for a second watch here. It's a quiet movie. It's not a big movie. It's a thinker. There's a lot of he's having flashbacks and dreams through much of it, but it's a part of the country in the Pacific Northwest that we don't often see represented in movies, and a time in history that was pretty interesting there. So I think there's kind of for a small movie where there's not a lot going on, there's There is actually
There is a lot going on.
a lot to it.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend it. This is Netflix, I believe, is Train Dreams, and it's still there. So
Yeah.
go see it.
I remember when I saw it, I was like, oh, this could be Andy's new Jeremiah Johnson. I better
Exactly.
get him to Train Dreams. All right, AD, before we get to Mr. Movies list, what did you pick for your favorite of the year?
Yeah, mine is not a small or quiet movie. It's Sinners. It's a vampire movie, but it doesn't really feel like it. It's not over the top like vampire-y, but that is what it is. But Michael B. Jordan plays twin brothers, which doesn't always work, but he's able to pull it off. I have season tickets to Ryan Coogler. I'll watch everything he makes. It's cool. It's sexy. There's great music. There's awesome visuals. I highly recommend this movie if you missed it earlier this year.
All right, and it made a fortune, too.
Yeah,
so,
did really well.
People really embraced it. All right, Mike, let's get to your favorite movies of 2025. You undoubtedly saw more than we did, and we'll find out if our three choices are in your list somewhere.
Andrews will not be. It'll be on my least favorite movies of the year. I just
okay.
I did not like it. We can talk about that later. Let's go down the list, so we'll go quick.
All right.
F1's at the top of the list. It's just, Keith, I'm exactly with you. I mean, just that experience. Brad Pitt is a complete movie star in this movie. I mean, he and Tom Cruise, you put them on that IMAX screen, and you just have to pay attention.
And a sequel has already been green-lighted, so there's another one coming.
There's a shock.
Yeah.
The second one,
F2.
Yeah.
Andy, is Train Dreams.
Oh, wow. Look at us, Andy. We're 1-2.
There you go. I'm going to skip number 3 because I'm going to go back to it.
Okay.
Weapons. If you saw Weapons, and I know neither of you did,
I did see it.
is the creepiest horror movie I have seen in years.
Jenny and I watched this a few weeks ago, and I know many people who loved it. I didn't know anything going in. It was not what I was expecting. It kept my attention, but I just really don't like this kind of movie.
On the big screen, it was about as intense as you want it to be.
I understand that.
The next one is Relay, and I think we've talked about that before. This is a small film, barely released in the theaters, and every single person that sees it calls me and said, "What is going on with this movie? It is great." And I don't know if you guys have seen it or not, but go home and watch it. It's an intense 2 hours and really, really well done.
I'm going to look for it because I see on the graphic AD made here, and thanks for pulling all these graphics, AD, from the director of Hell or High Water. I think Hell or High Water is one of the most underrated movies of the last 20 years.
Yeah,
so I'll watch this.
Yeah, it looks like this is on Netflix right now, too.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. I'm in.
Another one just like this, House of Dynamite. Relay and House of Dynamite are the two movies I saw this year. As I walked out, I knew at that point they were going to be on my top 10 list. It just didn't matter.
This was really good.
They're both small movies, got very little release in the theaters, and they are absolutely...
Tell me the name of this one more time, Mike.
House of Dynamite.
House of Dynamite.
It's Catherine Bigelow.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is the potential end of the world.
Yeah, a woman goes to work at the Pentagon, and she walks in and finds out there's missiles on the way.
Okay.
And that's how the movie starts. So
Sounds relaxing.
It's really good. Springsteen, I thought they did such a good job with Springsteen, and they had the balls to tackle the Nebraska album, which is a difficult album to discuss.
It is, and it's an interesting choice. Instead of trying to cover, it's probably the right choice. Instead of like we saw this with Bob Dylan, instead of trying to cover an entire artist's life like they tried to do somewhat with Freddie Mercury, just trying to find one small period of time and just focus on that so it doesn't become like a greatest hits.
Yeah, it's really well done. All right, moving along, Nuremberg. I must have missed this class in high school or college. What a fascinating story. And Russell Crowe at probably 400 plus pounds is a very, very dynamic person.
Don't you body shame Russell Crowe.
He's a big boy, let me tell you. All right, Wicked for Good. If you didn't see the sequel to Wicked,
Didn't see either.
I think this is better than the first. It's just Jeff Goldblum is in the movie. He was in the first one, but here he plays a really big role, and he does it in a great way. So
I will go see Wicked 3 if it's just 2 hours of them eating sandwiches. These women need to eat.
they do need to eat. All right. Hamnet. If you've seen Hamnet, it's based on a true story about William Shakespeare, who lost a young son to some horrible disease, and his name was Hamnet. So William Shakespeare went and wrote a play about a guy named Hamlet. So it's kind of interesting history here, but it's a really, really well done movie. And last but not least, 28 years later.
Oh gosh.
I am
Speaking
not
of
a
needing
big
a sandwich.
I am not a big horror guy, but this series is so good. And this was kind of the restart of the series, and we'll get another one, I think, next week.
Yep.
And it was so well done.
Isn't this Danny Boyle that makes these?
It is. The guy knows his way around a film, let me tell you.
Yeah, I know it. I see your honorable mentions. You had Rental Family, Fantastic Four, and A Big, Bold, Beautiful Journey.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, you want to touch on three? Do we have time to touch on three quick ones?
We do. Go ahead.
All right. Oh, Andrew.
Life of Chuck. You skipped by Life of Chuck.
Oh, yes, I did. You're right. Because that is the movie that I'm going to choose for my movie of the year. And I don't know if you guys saw it. If you saw it in the theater, it was a magical, charming adaptation of a Stephen King short story. And that no horror in it, but this was my favorite movie of the year.
I did see it, and I saw it with Cade, who then bought the book afterwards because he found it really interesting. It's not like anything else, and there's a spontaneous dancing in the streets scene that might be the most joyful thing I saw this year at the movies.
Yeah, I think Cade has better taste than you do.
Thank you, Mike. Come on this show just to pick on me. All right, what's in the theaters? Did you did get a chance to review a couple things?
I did get a chance to see Marty Supreme with Timothy Chalamet as a swindler struggling to be a ping pong champion.
Right.
It is a dark movie. It is violent at times. It is crazy. The ping pong action is, you just have to sit there and smile. It's so funny, but it's really well done. It's a good solid B plus probably.
Yeah.
So I would recommend to see it, but it could have been a little shorter.
Yeah, you could take 20, 30 minutes out, and I think it'd be fine. It's 2.5 hours. Timothy Chalamet is fantastic in this because he's playing a guy that you really should not root for. He's a bad guy.
He is a bad guy.
He's a manipulator. He's a liar. He's a cheater. He's not a good guy. It's based on a true story, but it made me feel anxious. It's from the director of Uncut Gems, if you've seen that.
Yes,
it has some of that
anxious movie.
Yeah, it has some of that same energy where like at any moment you can be enjoying two people talking to each other and suddenly they're in a violent car crash. You don't know what's coming next.
All right, so that's a B plus. Avatar: Fire and Ash. I didn't set my watch, but I think it was close to 5.5 hours.
It was 3.5.
Maybe it just felt that way.
Caden Collin went to see this, my sons, and they said, Chan went too. They all said kind of the same thing. It looks amazing. If you're interested, see it in IMAX. The story lacks.
Yeah, there is no story. I don't get it, and I don't know who these characters are. And then people show up in little side roles, and it's like, what is she doing here? What's Edie Falco doing in this movie? Weird. So
Is she blue?
no, she's a general.
Okay.
She's one of the
So
people.
Okay.
it's a B plus, but that's all on the technical side because
Yeah.
as a movie it was like, yeah. And then the last one is The Housemaid. Wow. So this couple hires this girl to come in and take care of their child and kind of oversee the house. You know how that goes. The husband's hitting on her and the wife's hitting on her, and I just wanted to get up and leave.
You didn't like it?
Whoa, really?
It's a C plus, but it's too dark. It's
Andy's going now.
Well, no way. Yeah. You didn't exactly you threw us a curveball there.
It's really violent. At the end, you're like, what is this? I mean, it was
it's one
fun.
of those boring movies where it's the housemaid and the husband's hitting on her and the wife's hitting on her, and then it's just awful.
Yeah.
It was fun until it wasn't fun.
And then you don't want to know what
It's a
happens.
C plus.
And it's
And then-
Sydney Sweeney, right?
I didn't say they weren't good looking.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, they're very good looking.
Must have fumbled
All
that
right,
storyline somewhere along the line, huh?
This weekend we got Greenland 2 Migration. Now, Greenland was never really released because it came out during COVID. So if you saw Greenland 1, send me a note and let me know what Greenland 2 might bring because I have no idea what it is.
All right.
And then a Primate is a horror movie that I just don't feel I have the taste for right now.
I saw a
And
preview
then-
of that and I was like, gosh, no, heck no.
The movie called Is This Thing On? Have you seen the clips for this? Where the
That's
guys
Will Arnett,
do-
right?
Will Arnett doing
That looks
stand up,
good.
and
Yeah, Bradley
it
Cooper
does
directed.
look really good. So I will be in the theaters this weekend, just not seeing Primate.
Enjoy the movies, Mr. Movie.
All right, guys, good to see you.
It's good to see you too. That is Mike Woody with his 10 best of the year list, and time now for throwdowns.
Throwdowns. It's Throwdowns. Backed by Heartland Tire and Auto.
Treating you like family, an authorized dealer of both Firestone and Bridgestone tires. Andy, you guys had a discussion about the perception of Big 12 football versus the ACC. There's a lot of talk about the SEC and the Big 10. In what order would you put the Power Four conferences when it comes to football?
Geez. Right now, I guess I would say Big 10 SEC, Big 12 ACC.
Right now, this particular point in time, I'd go Big 10, SEC, ACC, Big 12.
All right, Murph, the college football playoff continues tomorrow night and Friday night. Set your calendars if you didn't know that. Avoiding the first weekend of the NFL playoffs. The championship will be Monday, January 19th. Do you like the CFP schedule?
I do, because it forces me to not have to choose between the NFL and two semifinal matchups that I do find intriguing and interesting, and I'm glad we get to watch these.
Yeah, I don't have any problems with it at this point. Let's see it through to the end of the year, but no, I'm still paying attention.
Yeah, just kind of weird to have it on a Thursday night, a Friday night. I get why you avoid the NFL. Maybe move everything up a little bit, and we can do this another time. But hey, that's Throwdowns.
All right, thank you, Mr. Downs. Speakpipe.com/Murph_Andy is where you go to rant. Tell us what's bugging you. You can do it anytime, day or night, and we will play the best of those coming up Friday. That's 2 days away. I'm still all confused about when it is. It's all powered by Cellular Advantage with 35 regional locations, proud partner of U.S. Cellular, and now with T-Mobile. Time for the Andrew Downs audio drop of the day. We call it the AD Squared.
Yeah, it's powered by Game Day, Men's Health, West Des Moines, Ankeny, North Liberty. Wherever you are, there's a Game Day near you, and they can help you out. Game Day, Men's Health. We know that or really all football coaches, NFL coaches, college football coaches are out of touch with the rest of the world, but it's always fascinating to see just how much. Like last week when Sean Payton was asked about the holidays.
But do you have an extra message for your players because it is New Year's Eve tonight?
I didn't know it was New Year's Eve. The most overrated holiday, honestly.
We said that today.
Like seriously. I didn't know it was New Year's Eve, and
Just not even aware that it was New Year's Eve.
That's very Matt Campbellish. That is one thing I've found refreshing about Curt Cignetti is he continues to just say, we don't want our coaches here at night, sleeping in offices, living in the offices. They have like quick hour to hour and 15-minute practices. He believes everything needs to be efficient and don't waste anybody's time. That's a good message because a lot of coaches, I've been grinding. We've been in the office 80 hours this week, just studying film. I've been sleeping in the office. Like that's some badge of honor. It's not. You have a family.
They all do it, though.
Go live a life.
That's more the rule than the exception there. Curt Cignetti is the big exception there. It seems like those guys have no other interests other than their job.
Quickie poll results from WCI Pools and Spas. It's about the Caribbean.
How do you say Caribbean? Caribbean says 54%. It is pulled ahead of Caribbean, which is at 47% right now.
This is an important poll. Hey, thanks for hanging out with us here on Murph and Andy. We appreciate it. Glad to have you with us. We probably should thank you more than we do, so thank you. Thanks for joining us here in 2026. Please like and subscribe so we can all meet again. We're back Friday, and we hope you are too.